So, if you're planning on buying a home, there are a few things you need to consider. First is you need to know how much down payment you have. You need to have about 5 to 10% of money to put as a down payment to buy a house. And another one that you need to know is you need to have good credit. You should have at least a 650 to qualify for a good mortgage rate. And the third one is you need to have a job which you can show that you're making so much money. So a steady job and a good credit report and a down payment. If you have these three things, you are qualified to buy a home. And then you need to go to the bank first and get your mortgage approved. And they will tell you you can get approved. Let's say you're making 90,000. They will tell you you can get approved for 600 or 700,000. But I don't think, let's say you're making 90,000, right? I think you should only go 4 times of your income to buy a home. So let's say you're making 100,000 for the year. Your mortgage should be no more than 400 or 500. Even though the bank will tell you you can buy a home for up to 600,000 or 700,000 with your 100,000 income. If you do that, you're going to fall in trouble in the long run because you won't be able to make that payment. You will be struggling. What happens? You get expenditure for 2 to 3 months. That unexpected expenditure, you're going to be in trouble. So it's always better to buy a home which is from your income 3 times or 4 times of your income. So that's my advice. I know lots of people who have fallen in trouble buying for high prices and they are finding it so difficult to pay their mortgage. And I don't want you to fall into the same trap. There are people who bought houses like 6 times or 8 times their income. So if the income was 600,000, they bought houses for 800,000. And the mortgage is about 6,000, 7,000 a month, which they cannot afford. It's so difficult to pay. And I don't think, like, what's the point in living like that, right? Your mortgage should be only 30 to 40% of your take-home pay, not more than that. So keep that in mind when you're buying a home. So if you're interested and if you live in Toronto or Durham region, you can reach out to me. I can advise you on how to qualify for a mortgage, and if you're qualified to buy a house, I should be able to find you a home which you can afford, and I will not push you into buying a house where you cannot afford. That's what a lot of people are going through. They bought houses which they cannot afford. So keep that in mind and see what has happened to the condo market today. Lots of people bought condos and they are finding it so difficult to pay the mortgage, rent it, or sell it. They cannot sell it because the house prices have come down, the condo prices have come down. They cannot rent it because the rent that they're asking is so expensive and people are not willing to pay that anymore. And they cannot sell it because the buyers are not willing to pay that much of a price to buy it. So keep that in mind. And if you need any assistance in buying a home or selling your home, give me a call. I should be able to help you. Adios.